Hi class, this is the last of our videos on the component-based development. We're going to be looking at creating our forms-based application to list our students. Close this. So let's create a new project. Again, I'm continuing on from the last video, so I know that I have a valid TFS connection. So I'm going to create a new project. Now, this project is not going to be a class library. It's going to be a Windows Forms-based application. I'm going to check my project location, and let's name our student listing app. How's that? I do want it in source control, so I'm ready to click add. Now, when my project gets created, I'm going to have my default form information. I'm going to change some names over here in Solution Explorer. So first, my program.cs, I'll rename it. We'll use that main class.cs. And yes, I want to update everything. And then for form1.cs, I'll rename it also. And we'll name it form list.cs. Again, be careful to put the .cs if it's selected that, so that you don't wipe things out. Now everything should be properly renamed. I'm going to go to my form and do a little bit of design work here. First of all, on my form properties, I'm going to change the title of my form, and the text property says student list. I want to change my back color. And I've changed my fore color to be something that will show up well on that. And then I want to change my font and just go up to a 12-point font. That should be good. And of course you can change your typeface if you like to be something that is unitype, that doesn't change sizes for different characters. Depends on how you want your list to look. Now I think that that's good for the moment on my form defaults. So for our application, we're going to have a heading up here at the top that's going to say something about current students. So I'll use a label. This label is going to have a text property, current students, and I'm going to change the font size to 16. Maybe even a little bigger. That's 24. That looks pretty good. Now, I want to have a drop-down list underneath that. So I think we want a combo box. What do you think? Sound good? And in our combo box, let's name it first C and B EX. We'll call it type because this is going to be the type of student. Now I'll go ahead and find the items property to add our items to this list that we want to display in this drop-down list. So we want to say graduate students and career center students. So now our collection should be set. In our combo box, we want to make sure that our drop-down style is set to drop-down list so that they can't type something into that combo box. Now I think we should set our text property to a nice message. Let's say select type. and then that should show up in our combo box when it loads. Now, in our app, underneath this combo box where they can select the type of student, we're going to have a list box that lists just those student IDs. So let's find our list box control. I'm going to put it down here. And this list box needs to be renamed LSTBX students. Scroll through, see if there's anything that you feel like we want to change. We're only going to allow people to select one, so that's a good selection mode. Everything looks good there. Now, down here under that list box is where we're going to display the information about the student that they click on. I'm going to kind of rearrange a little bit, select everything here, move it over just a bit, make my form a little smaller, a little more compact. And then I'm going to add this area under the list box to display that information. So I'll start with a label, and this label is going to say student information. Now it is a heading and I want it to be a little bigger, not quite as big as the primary heading. So I'll go to my font and let's try 16. That looks good. Now under our student information label, we're going to have the information to display about our students. We'll use a label. And we're going to name this label LBL result. And that'll show our student information. I'm going to leave the text property of that blank for now so that it doesn't look ugly on our form. Now that should be everything that we need. So to start out, when our project loads, we need some students to display. So in our project, we need to create our form load to load up some of those test objects. So depending on our needs for our project, we could have a test data file that we had to read in. We could create test data file on the fly like we're going to in this one. So lots of different ways. As long as you're creating some test data and doing some testing, then you're probably going to be okay. Now I'm going to click Save All because our form is all set. When I go to create data and data types, let's do it. I'm going to double click on a blank spot on this form, blank spot, and create the form load. So in our form load, we want to create some graduate student objects. Now again, our data type is not known. It's not known to this project because we haven't included that DLL. So we need to include those DLLs. So we're going to go to our references in our Solution Explorer. Now notice that we have a lot more references in this project than in those projects that were simple DLL libraries because we have references to the Windows Forms solution namespace, all sorts of different namespaces. Let's add ours. Now I do want this student class, but I'm just going to go ahead and click Browse because I really want all three of these DLLs that are in my DLL library for this project. So I will add them all, click OK. Let's try and see if I can only do one at a time. Graduate class. The project targets .NET Framework while the file reference targets .NET Core. Well, that's not very nice. Can I do my other two? Nope. Okay, well, I will be back. We'll figure this out and I will tell you about it.